I'll have to add a part 2 to this, but basically the recap for what I'm doing, because I hit the wrong button while I was recording, trying to position this my phone to show you what I was exactly trying to get to as far as the gear selector switch. Replacing the couple of bulbs behind my instrument cluster. I have them to where when I have them on, they're red. I took them apart and sandpapered the green that is behind them, but I currently disconnected both plugs behind it because I'm going to pull the whole thing out and go through and just make sure, because my check engine light is not on, but it's staying. It has some sort of current running through it, so I want to find out what for current it has running through it, if it's just maybe a bad LED behind it that wants to stay lit and it's not lit, or if the check engine light actually has to be an incandescent bulb instead of LED due to wattage. Likewise with my overdrive light, that also does it, and the airbag light. One of the things I'm thinking is that there's a current. It might be very minuscule, but it's still enough current to want to have the LEDs trip and have them come on. Just to be clear, and I know it's not a check engine code, I did hook up my my code reader to it, and there's no pending codes or anything in that nature, or any codes actually being thrown. It's actually running really well. So basically, you'll have your trim piece. You'll have to pull that off. You'll pop it off over there. Once you get that off, then you're going to want to undo your stereo. Just pull your stereo out. This one has an aftermarket one in it, so it's a little easier. Once you do that, then you'll have your bezel that goes up and around. So you'll have a bolt here, 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 there, and there. You'll undo those. Those are 7mm bolts. And then you'll have 4 bolts here, which are also 7mm, and you'll want to undo those. Once you undo those, then my suggestion would be to undo your kick panel plate, because your gear selector actually is right here, which I already undid mine. There is a 5 and a 5.5 bolt there that holds that in. So you'll undo that, and then that'll give you slack up into there, to where you're actually able to just pop that off. Now I was trying to pop it off and video at the same time, and I hit end, which screwed up the whole thing, so I basically had to do a quick rundown of what I'm doing now so I can post this one instead of the other one. So I'm not trying to add them together and cut and paste them together to have one solid video. So if you have any questions, you can let me know. I'm just going to go ahead and pause this, pop that off quick, so I don't have to do it over again if I end up having or being all thumbs today when it comes to my camera and hitting stop and getting pissed off. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause this, pop that off quick. Alright, so I got it popped off. Once you get it popped off, you'll have it come up to like right here, where you'll basically just have to fish it up through. But considering the fact that I don't think I really need to pull the whole thing out, but just for video's sake, I'm going to. You can fish it out through the bottom here next to the steering column. If it helps, you can also drop the steering column to get a better, or have more room to actually just kind of work it around there. And when you put it back in, you'll have to do the same thing. So I'll try and show you where it's going to want to come up at. It's going to want to come up right back here at the back of the steering column. So you'll just have to work it around. If this part pops out, you don't have to get all concerned or anything, because it actually just goes back in pretty easy. It'll just go. If I can get it off of my keys now. That's awesome. So apparently this thing likes to get caught in key rings as well. But anyway, you'll just turn it and it just snaps, or just slips back into there, just like that. So and then when you put your bezel back in, it'll actually go back into place. So I'll pause this, pull it out, and show you what'll be going on behind it then. Okay, since I got it out, I'm gonna go ahead and undo these six T15 hex bits, and pull the plastic off so I can reset my temperature gauge. I actually have to lower it because when it's running, it's trying to show that it's hot, and it's actually running at the right temperature. How I know that is I haven't had any problems with it overheating, and so I'm going to put that back on, and then once I get it put back in, then I'll put the plastic on last, and I'll let it run and get to operating temperature, and then put it in the middle where it should be and not up like here, because I don't want it sending an error if it gets up that high and the computer thinks it's overheating, which it's not. But right now, I'm just going to go ahead and address some of my LED issues in the back. Just make sure that they're either in correctly, or it's not a voltage issue where there's volts running through it that really wouldn't be picked up on an incandescent bulb because of the higher wattage. And I got to figure out and make sure that the bulb is incorrect for my low fuel. I let my fuel run low just to make sure that that bulb would come up, and it didn't light up, and I was on the E line, but I mean previous till then I just filled it up. So I'll pop that off and go through and check that, and I'll pick back up recording when I put it back in then.